This tutorial is going to be on adding a new form within your app to receive information from your app users. Now, this tutorial is going to be a little longer than my standard 2 to 5 minute video. So we're going to go over the complete addition of a brand new form. So we do that by adding a tab. So we'd come into the functionality, and here we would want to add a new tab. Let's go ahead and call this Forms. So you can put multiple forms within one tab. And then this is going to be the Email Form tab. And then we can just simply use one of these images here. You can choose any of them throughout the form builder depending on what your form is. If it's a connection card, you're taking attendance with it, or it's a small group sign up, or a lot of different things. You want to choose an image specific or close to what you'll be building. If it's multiple forms you're going to have under one tab, something like this works. So let's just save changes, and let's see here, we did leave that as active, which we can inactivate that if we wanted, and still go in and build this out. So I can show you that as well. This shows you a couple different things. While you're building the form, you can click off of the active tab. This tab still shows in the functionality, and then when we come over to change the content, it's still going to show here as well, but as we're building this form out, it's not going to show live out within the app. So here we click Forms, and we're going to add a new custom form. Here we're going to choose where we want this form to go. So I'm going to go ahead and put my email address in here now. The form title, now this will show over on the right. So let's just make this a check-in form. My church calls it a connections card, so we'll just call it that. And then here, how about that? Please fill out this form to let us know a little about you. So that's connections card, and then once they fill this out, this will be the message that is displayed to them. So you can personalize this message. You can make it from the pastor. So a lot of different things you can do here, and then the button that they click, if it's a get involved or signing up for a small group or information about serving, you could say this could say get involved or I'm in, or a lot of different things. You can put whatever you want to put on that button, you can do in this last field here. So now let's actually build out the form. We click add a field, and so this is a connections card or kind of an attendance, so we can say name, and we can say date, and we can say email address. You can collect as much information here as you want. So email address, we can get their phone number, and if you want their full mailing address, we can get that as well. And then we can put in individual lines here. A single line text, we can say, let's put in a couple of those just in case they have a couple of different children. And then we can also do a checkbox here, so that's going to come in down here. So that gives us enough to just kind of go through. You can play with this however you want your connection card to look like. So this can be name, date, email, phone number. We might want to go ahead and reorder that. So you can just grab them and reorder them, the name, address. Let's take the date, put it down here. So now that's a little more logically organized. Name, address, email, phone number. Let's switch those around. Phone, email, the date that they came, and then this text could be, we can alter this by clicking the little pencil. And over here we can say So there we go. I'll highlight that. Copied it, so now we can just paste that there. Obviously you could add in a couple more, just depends on what you want to do. And then for this one, we would change the name of each of these options. That would say member, tender, or guest. And you could also add a prayer request little box in here, so if we wanted to add a field and a little paragraph, they could write a little bit more information. So they can give them an invitation to add a prayer request if you'd want. So this is a pretty long form. We do like to make these as short as possible, so you might not want their mailing address here. They might not fill that in. So if you find that they're not filling out in some of the information, you can delete it. But if you want them to fill the information out, you can make them required. So you can click required after you edit one of the fields. So if we wanted the phone number to be required, click on the pencil, required, and there you go. And for each one of these, you can add some guidelines for the users. If it's looks a little different, you can put some information here, and then when they hover over that, or they are selecting that field while they're filling out the form, it'll show that information. So now we've got a nice looking form here. It's got a lot of information that would be pertinent to a connections card and give you enough information to record them and send them some information if they're a guest. You can note how many children they have. You can actually put in you could call this birth date if you wanted to get their birth date information. So you can use this form a lot of different ways. All right, so the form properties on the right we filled out first. The field properties, we select a field and we can change the properties of that. So we click here. That would allow us to change the properties of the address. Add a field. This gives us all the field options that we have. So next, we'll go ahead and save this form. Now we're going to style this particular form. So we go into actually we're not going to see it in the previewer since it's not active yet. So let's go back to content. I want to show you that just so you can see the difference. So here it's not active. Let's go ahead and say edit. Let's activate this tab, save changes, go to the previewer, and you can leave that form the way I just made it. You don't have to style it in any form or fashion, and it will still work. So there's the connections card. Very simple information that they can type in and click submit. Now, with this particular app, it's definitely styled with the blue and the grays. So we can go back and style that form to look like the rest of the app. So you can go into content, go into forms. Now here's that form that we just built. Now you just go into the little paint bucket here after it's done. We're going to be able to color this form to match the rest of the app. So we can upload a header image, which I highly recommend doing. So we can choose a file. Let's find an image here to use. Alright, so here's a nice little image that will fit in the header here. Double click that and then we'll upload. There we go, that fits nicely. Of course you can put whatever image you want in there, and then this little gray is that little bit that you see right here. So we can click that and change that color if we want to match up to what's up in here a little bit. We can now drag that around. Make that fit a little nicer. What I like to do now is highlight whatever color that is. One thing we could have done is we could have gone and picked one of the colors throughout the app. to match exactly. So I'm gonna copy this, and I'll show you what I'm talking about here. I'm gonna go ahead and save this theme the way it is. Exit out of here, and then we can come to the appearance part of the appearance module, and we come to the colors. Now here we've got the coloring of the app. So let's say we want to match it to this light blue here. This is kind of a soft blue. So let's grab that color rather than what I had. Back to content, back to forms, little paint bucket. Click there. And we weren't far off. Let's leave that color. And now the background color of this particular form we can add there. Now you can see this is highlighted in white. That looks a little strong, and we should like to make all the text black so it works real well. And then there, we'll leave that there. And now we'll come over to the labels. We're just changing this here. See that up there, kind of light. Alright, so we'll go into the labels down below. Change that to black. And I like to change the shadow color to black as well. As you can see now, those show up a lot better. So text color is black. Shadow color is black. And I do that pretty much throughout. You can play with this and however you want your app to look. For some reason that one's not wanting to change. That does it. Interesting. Alright, so that pretty well covers the styling of your app. Now you can change the elements as well, input fields, those would be the buttons, everything else. So every little part of this form you can customize and make it look exactly the way you want it to look. The labels, the header, the body. So we can save this theme. Close this out, preview this form. Now it just matches the overall theming of the rest of the form a little bit nicer. You can even change these white fields if you wanted to, do the background and more of this this gray, and then make these blue. You can just customize this and play with it. And again, you can do all of that while this particular tab is inactive. So we still have that tab available for editing. Right now, but if we go to preview, we've inactivated this. So it is not live out in the app. So you can build that form out, play with the coloring of it, and get it to look exactly the way you want it before you make it live out within the app. I'm going to go ahead and delete this since we are working in a live app. And now that's gone. If you have any questions about creating, editing, or styling your forms, please shoot us an email at support@mobilewisemedia.com.